Hello, welcome back to another video. This one is going to be another how-to video. So this is how to sort out a bulk of random mixed together Lego so that you can start picking out all the sets that it might have in it. This is just a small batch of Lego I've got here. We had a few months ago a much bigger batch of this, which has already been sorted. Some of the sets already picked, I'll show you that in a minute. But this is just really how to deal with this as it is at the moment. So first thing to do is either on the floor or a table is put a bed sheet or something similar, because some of this is going to be quite grubby, and then tip it all onto the bed sheet. You can then separate all the parts out. If you have a brick separator, obviously that's going to really make that process a lot quicker. And then pick apart the Lego from the non-Lego. So Lego will have written on the studs the word Lego. Non-Lego, this is Mega Bloks, doesn't have anything written on it. And there are other brands as well, but they'll have what they are written on the studs. So take all that out, all that non-Lego, put it to one side because you don't need it. So the next bit would then be to pick out the minifigures. So we have here, this is one of the minifigures in this slot, and I believe this is Wilco Blocks. So he would go with the non-Lego. And then you would pick out the ones that are actual Lego. So this would be the kind of thing that they would look like. And if you want to be able to tell for certain whether they are Lego or not, a lot of them, like on the head there, will have Lego written on it. And on the other body parts as well will have Lego. So that is the way you tell those apart. Put those to one side with your real Lego. So then sort out the bits that are quite unique to sets or anything with stickers on. So there are quite a lot of generic bits in here. There's quite a lot of stuff that would be for lots of different sets. So it would be the stuff that looks a bit different from just the kind of plain old Lego, that you might be lucky, you might be able to find stuff that's unique to maybe a few sets. And that would be how you would sort this out, and how you would end up with your genuine Lego and your stickered bits of Lego and your unique bits of Lego. So I'll now show you the next part of the process. So this is all the stuff I sorted from the large batch of Lego that we had in a few months ago, and I will show you just in this tub. This is what I ended up with, which are the stickered bits. So anything that has a little sticker. I mean, sometimes they have print on them as well, so they have, it's not just stickers, it's actually printed on straight onto the Lego. So you pick all that kind of stuff out and put it, I mean, I put it in little tubs because it's just easier, but you can put it in bags if you want or something like that. So that stuff would go to one side, and that is very handy for sorting out sets. The unique bits, I believe I sorted those out, and I've already actually dealt with those. However, anything unique I've also used to identify sets. So then, once I've separated that stuff out, you can put it all in the same tub if you want, or just put it in two separate ones, is sort out the actual main bulk of Lego. And in here... So in here I have small bits of Lego, and that's just all the little tiny bits, and there's, I believe there's some unique bits in there actually as well that I'd sorted out. In here we've got tyres and wheels. In here we've got tiles. So then we have slopes, and underneath we have plates, and then in here, bricks. And this all just gets separated out into handy kind of tubs that you can then, when you're looking for specific stuff that is sloped, or, you know, the bricks or the plates, whatever, you've then got them to hand in boxes that where you know that they're probably going to be in there, so you can head for the right one. So then the minifigures as well. In this big batch I had a lot of minifigures, so I separated out all the minifigure parts. So this is the torsos, we've got the legs, and then this one is just a mixed bunch of the smaller, or the stuff where we've got less of it, I should say. So this is just quite unique minifigures there. And we've got stuff like the accessories that go with minifigures, got capes. This is stuff that's wearable, so it's kind of like the shoulder things, and oxygen tanks and masks and all that kind of thing. A bag here with hats and hair. Bag of animals, because you'll always end up with a few of those. These are stands, which are a lot of the collectible figures have stands with them. And the brick separators. And then in here we just have sort of odds and ends, like for example minifigure heads, and these are more generic, I believe, figures that I got out of there too. So that is essentially how I would go about sorting all this out, so that I can then pick the parts for the sets afterwards. The only thing is, when I first started doing this, I did actually start by separating it into colour. Now that is, it sounds okay from the beginning. I thought it sounded okay. But actually when you go to pick the parts out, what happens is after a while, it all blends into one, and it's very difficult to pick out anything, especially if it's quite little like that. So I've obviously, I mean, these are the transparent bits. So I've separated out all of these, just organising them into these tubs. So I mean, a recap of that would be unique and stickered parts in one, transparent, little bits, tyres and wheels, tiles, slopes, plates, bricks, and then your minifigure parts as well. So just the minifigure bits. So that would be how I would organise this, so I can actually pick the bits out, because doing it by colour is very tricky. And you do go a bit Lego blind after a little while. So like this, you can go to the tub you need, open it up, and you can have a look through for your right bit in there. So the next bit would be how I would then go about isolating the set. So what I would do, I'll show this, I'll show you on the computer as well, actually, to be fair, how I would do this. But you would take, say for example, this bit, right? So this bit's got a sticker on it. Now what I would mainly do with this is use probably Google Lens to find out this particular part. Because as long as the person who's put these sets together has put the right sticker on the right part, what is going to happen is that is going to come up fairly swiftly. If they haven't, just look for the sticker, potentially find that. But to be fair, once a sticker is stuck on a part, it's very difficult to get it back off again. But I would look that part up with that sticker on it, and then I would find out what set that's from. Sometimes they're from several. So if you have anything like this, for example, you're probably going to find they're in a few sets maybe. But if you have anything that might be a little bit more unique, you can find out what set they're from. And then you can write these all down as you go. So just basically use Google Lens, have a look at the part, find out what set it's from, write the set down. Also, you can do this with the unique bits as well, and the unique bits will have a part number. So I've got a part of a bit of Lego here. So the part number will be written somewhere inside here. And it's tiny writing, so you will need a torch, possibly a magnifying glass to see that. And if it's anything like this, you're going to have to shine the torch in there to see the part number. But that's a little bit easier to do that, and you can do that on Bricklink as well to find the part number. But stuff like that, you're probably going to find a lot of them in a lot of sets. So that would not be considered unique, really. And then to use the minifigures to do the same thing is I would start off with Zap Torsos through Google Lens. So basically run those through Google Lens and see what figures they're from. If they're from a lot of figures, put them to one side. If they're from a few figures, like I believe these guys were, or some of those were, then just basically find those figures, and then you could potentially, if they're only in one set, put them together. Yeah, so that's how I would start off doing it. And what I would use for sorting is this fella. So this is basically a compost tray. or a planter tray, whatever you want to call it. And this is something you could just get them off Amazon or eBay or wherever. And that's quite a long tray, primarily made of compost bags, but it is very handy. You can just tip the Lego in and you can spread it all the way to the edges of the tray and pick the bits out. So that's a good way of sorting whilst keeping it obviously within these raised edges so it doesn't fall off the table. So yeah, you can do that if you want. So there's Jen over there with a wet wipe in hand, having a bit of a dance.
Let's go.
Yes, let's go. So what I'll do is I'll show you on the computer now what I would do to find these sets. Right, so here we have the Bricklink homepage. And I'm just going to show you how I would search for sets on here and complete them if I can. And if I can't, I would then buy the parts in that I will also show you. So when I've signed in here, but when I first sign in, I get my buyer account and my seller account. So when you first sign up to this, you just get the buyer account. The seller account you can sign up for, but it's a similar process to eBay, where you would basically need to put in any tax documents they want and stuff like that to open it as a business on it. But yeah, so we'll just be looking really actually at this tab here, which is the wanted list today. So I will show you, to start with, the part that I picked out of the sticker tub earlier. So this is a 1x6x5 panel. So basically I picked this out and it had a sticker on it, and it was a sticker with, it had x-rays and stuff like that on it. So this is the wrong colour, but if you scroll down, it has a huge list of colours that you can, 20,272 colours apparently, that you can actually get this part in. So mine was light tan, so this is what I had with the sticker in the centre, which obviously this part doesn't have. So to find the sticker part, what I ideally would do is I would Google Lens it, and then you can find the actual part straight off the bat. So when I did that a little while ago, I got this number. And we can see I've searched for it already because it comes up. So I would click on that and it will take me through this, which is the Lego panel there with the sticker in the middle. And this number at the top, that's the part number. So those 5 digits, they're the part number. And then this bit is the sticker. So that would denote that this is a slightly different part from normal, but it has that sticker on. So that's good. I found the right one. So this is what I had. If you remember, that was the bit that I had when I dug it out of the tub. And sometimes if you go over here, it comes up with loads of sets. So there's absolutely loads. And sometimes it's a case of just going through, seeing if you have minifigures for any of them, seeing if you have the rest of the sticker parts, which ones they apply to. And there can be quite a few sets, but luckily with this one, I've just got one set. So that is the set that it takes me through to, which is JB's Ghost Lab. And next to this will be set number. So in this case, 70418. So if I then click on that, it takes me through to the page that is relevant to that set number. So it's got details about it, like the year it was released, the weight of it, the dimensions of it, and this bit, which is what we want to concentrate on, which is the parts and the minifigures. And we also want to concentrate on my wanted list down here. But to start with, I'll just go in and I'll have a look, and I can't see that stickered part. So the way I would go about finding it is if you go into the parts section, it will bring up a list of everything that should be in the set, including minifigures, extra bits, sticker bits, all that sort of stuff. But this is what I want to look at. And yeah, I've just looked and that sticker is in it. So that's good. That's all sorted. I know it's in there. But then I want to scroll down. Quicker to do it like that. So I scroll down, then you get minifigures at the bottom. You get the extra items there as well. And then you get the sticker parts. So my first starting point for this really would be to get that tub and have a look. See if I've got any more stickered parts in there. Because if I have, I can dig those out as well. And I can see that the part I've already got is there. If, though, I was to dig some of the parts out that had the stickers on and I was, say, left with one, so for example this bit, so I don't have that with the sticker on, what I would then do is I would think, okay, well I might buy it. So I'd press that button and it would take me to all these shops that are selling this particular part. And I can see that some of them are selling them for a few pence, so 7p, 8p, etc. But I might want to, say, buy them from the UK. So I would filter those out. And I can see that that would be 13p would be the minimum that I would spend. Sometimes with these, like this person's got a very comprehensive description of what condition it's in. Some of them don't. They actually list them as used, but they don't have that in. When I was selling on here, I think that I was just putting what they were. Maybe if I had one of something, I might put description, but yeah, so that's all I've got there. So I could then perhaps buy that from them if I wanted to. Or if I had, say, over half of the stickered bits missing, what I would then do is come back up here. And here I would click on this and I would say, okay, well, I've got this one, I've got these two, and I've got this one, but I haven't got these four. So that's half, isn't it? So then I would click on the number and it would take me through to that sticker sheet and I would click buy. And then it would show me that obviously they're all new because they're brand new sticker sheets, and some people have got absolutely loads. So what I would think is, okay, well, it says 8p here, but again, click on more options, seller location, United Kingdom, and it brings me up with a whole long list of the ones in the UK. And the cheapest is 10p. So I can see from that actually it would be cheaper, even if I only had that one bit missing, with a sticker on, it would be cheaper to buy the sticker sheet. And what I would then do is I would dig out probably the front of that part that was missing, or I would have to buy the parts separately. Either way, it depends what works out as cheaper. But say, for example, I did have that particular part, but I didn't have a sticker on it. I buy the sticker sheet. I would either put the sticker on or I would just leave that to the buyer if they wanted to do that. So that's really, that's the stickers and how I would sort those out. And with these kinds of things, I would then, if it was the sticker sheet that I wanted, I would add that, or I would leave that actually in the wanted list. If it was any bits that had stickers on that I just wanted to buy them individually, what I would do is I would go down here, I'd click on it again, and I would click on add to my wanted list, and that would take me through to here. So I could scroll down to a wanted list. Obviously, I don't have one set up for this at the moment, but I would scroll down to that wanted list and then just press add to wanted list, and that would add that particular stickered part. So the next thing really for this set, once I've figured out which stickered parts I need and stuff, I would then go to the minifigures and I would just have a look at which minifigures I've got. Now, before I start digging out the parts for the set and the minifigures, I would probably want to create a wanted list for this after I've figured out the sticker parts and whether I have enough and whether I want to complete it in the first place. So if you press on add to my wanted list, it adds the whole set. So don't want to do that. I would want to part it out. So basically I would press that and it would come up with a screen. And I've got here, that's how many parts, that's how many minifigures I'd want. I might want to include the extra parts that originally came with the set when it was new. So it was basically the little bag of extra bits. But I don't want to on this occasion, I just want the basics. And then I would create a wanted list. So that is the set number that I'm just popping in there. And I would put submit for edit. And then there is all the parts that I would need. So I would go down to the bottom and I would just add all of those to a wanted list. So then I would view that wanted list. So these are all the minifigures that I need. And to do this, what I would do is just basically, I would click on that and it brings up a different screen and enlarge it. And what I would do is go through those bits, picking those out. So say for instance, I've got all of them. So I've got him and him, but I haven't got, so I would delete those, but I haven't got this one, or at least I haven't got most of him. So he's only got, say for example, I've managed to find the hat, I've managed to find the torso, but I haven't got the head or the legs. Again, I would go to part out, and then I would essentially, yes, I would. I'd go to part out, and then I would submit for edit. But of course, it's already added to a wanted list. So what I would need to do is delete him from that. And then I could go back to this, and there's 4 parts to this minifigure. Yeah, okay, I'll enter a name. So I would have to create this as a different wanted list. So go to 70418 figs, for example, submit for edit. So for him, I said that I had the hat, so I would go to exclude because I've got that. And I've already got the torso, so I would exclude that as well. So I need the head, I need the legs, and then I would add those to that wanted list for the figures. So I know that's all I need for that figure. And say, for example, you want to delete something off here. I'll just show you this before I start talking about the actual parts for the sets and stuff. To delete, you just press the tick box and then you go up to that. Because I realised I did that a minute ago. I did it quite hurriedly, so I'll just explain how you do that. So it's just that tick box, that bin, done. And that has got rid of that. So then what I'd do next, because I need the parts out of this, is I showed you that I separate all the parts out. So I've got plates, tiles, bricks, transparent parts, etc. I would go through this in terms of, okay, well, what I'm going to do is get the bricks box. So I know that this and this would be in there, and I've found one of those, so I can delete it. I found one of those. And I would keep going down like that, picking all the bricks out. Then when I'd done the bricks, I could go through saying, okay, well, I've got accessories, so I can have a look. Okay, I've got that one. And keep on working your way down the list, really. And as you're doing it, just delete them. As soon as you find them, get rid of them. And then you've got stuff like this, and I sometimes put these in the stickered. I do actually most of the time put these in the stickered box. So these are just printed. These are printed on. So what I would do is I would have another look, dig that out, and if I've got it, get rid of it. If I haven't got it, obviously leave it on there for later. And then once you've got all the parts out of here that you need, or that you can find, if you're left with anything, so say for example, I've looked through and all of this, 4 pages of stuff I can't find. So I want to order this. So basically, I would then go to buy all. And that would take me through to this page. So on this page, this is just the store page really. That has now ticked that for me because I have already said that I want to buy these things. So that is what I want to buy, 92 parts. And I can see from here, somebody in Norway has 92 of them and somebody in Portugal has. But I don't want to buy from them. Maybe I want to buy from the UK. So here we have somebody who's selling those parts and they're selling 91. Now it says lots. That doesn't always mean that it's only 91 out of 92 of the bricks. Sometimes, like this, there can be 2 of those. So basically you would just go through, you would have a look, find out which ones you've got there, and then you would confirm it, although this comes to about £14.50. So what I would do is I would say, well, I'm not sure how much this set is worth. So what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to type this in because I want to know whether it's worth ordering all those bits. Because if it isn't, then I don't really want to be buying all those bits to complete a set where I'm not going to be getting that much back. So if you go to the actual set itself, you can see there's a list of all of these sellers and they are selling completed sets. So in the UK on Bricklink, this set would, it's very cheap, it set me back £7. And this is one with minifigures, instructions, but it hasn't got a box with it. £7. But it's now told me that it's going to cost me about £14.50 to actually put this set together. So I would think, is it really worth it to do that? Bearing in mind that with this that I've just done, I also don't have these parts either. Don't have these ones. So I need those too. So I would have to order those alongside everything else. And I would come to the conclusion from that, I think that it wouldn't be worth ordering. So then there is another way to buy stuff off your wanted list. If you go up to that wanted tab and you press buy, it brings you back through to this page. So say for example, I will pick an expensive set to complete. At the moment, I'm trying to put together myself at a Parisian restaurant. So I'll say, right, okay, well, I'm fed up with searching myself for these pieces. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see how much it's going to cost. Now, I know that a Parisian restaurant costs hundreds of pounds and that is new in the box. But this one is one I put together and there's only 152 pieces outstanding. So let me see how much that would cost for me to buy these from the UK. Remember, that is with postage. Bricklink, the sellers will charge you postage. So once it has finally found the stores, sometimes it can take a moment because there are quite a few. I'm waiting, and it will come up with the stores that actually will sell this stuff. It turns out actually 129 lots in that one. And let's load this and see how much. So 100. So like I said, you know, it says here 129, but when I've clicked into that, 130. So that 129, you've got to go in and just have a look at that, make sure that it is correct what they come up with. But to be fair, now looking at this, I think, well, you know, the Parisian restaurant, probably about 300, 400 quid new in the box. They're going to charge me £286.70 for all these bits to finish this set. So I would say I will just keep looking for that one, really. And that is the thing you have to bear in mind, is just what I would normally do actually when I go through and I figure out what sets I want to buy, what sets I would want to complete. What I normally do is go through those stickered parts and just simply find out what sets they're for. So you use those to find out what sets they're for. You use those more unique parts to find out what sets are in there, and then you can make a list of all the sets you think are in there. Once you've done that, what you can always do is you can then go through and price them up. That would probably be the best advice, would be to just price them up, just figure out how much they're worth, and then go in finding the more expensive sets first. Always do that first. If you have a bit of time, you want to do the slightly cheaper ones, you can do that, obviously, but just when you're using Bricklink, don't spend out more than that set is worth, because sometimes buying these bits in, that's what's going to happen, and you might as well buy it new. You might as well buy it complete, because it's going to cost you quite a lot of money, and sometimes you won't always be able to complete sets off the bat from here. So I've got a few on here that I've done over the last few months, and basically they are still outstanding sets because I just can't buy the parts in one go. So you will find that you can buy from a specific seller, but you won't get all the parts you need. You would then have to go to a different seller to buy some more, and maybe even so on and so forth. But with these, I am aiming at some point to get them all entirely 100% finished. As you can see, some of them, they only need one or two bits in them. Some of them, a little bit more. And I also have quite expensive sets in here. So 4195, that is a Pirates of the Caribbean Queen Anne ship. And that needs 32. And a lot of those are unique. A lot of those are actually unique to that set. And to be honest with you, it is so expensive to finish that set. So there's no minifigures in it either, because they're massively expensive. And that's another thing, is the minifigures are probably going to be quite expensive, especially complete. If you can find the majority of parts for minifigures out of what you already have, do that, and then order the little bits and pieces you need. So if you have most of that minifigure, just go for the bits that you need to complete it. Don't go for the complete minifigure if you can help it, because a lot of them are really expensive. And that is one thing about this, is that Lego is sometimes quite expensive. So it is going to be something where you're going to find that you can't... Sorry, there goes Echo. You are going to find... that's in pretty much every video I make, that bloody Echo. But you are going to find that you are going to be... you're just going to have loads of outstanding sets waiting for stuff. And the good thing about buying bundles of Lego is that at some point you are probably going to get more bits in for that set, or sets in this case, as you can see here. You are going to get more bits and pieces for them, and you might get a little bit closer to actually completing them yourself. So Bricklink is good for just mopping up those sets that need maybe 1 or 2 bits. But I would definitely be mindful of how much they're worth before you go ahead and actually buy anything. So yeah, anyway, that is all I've got, I think, on Bricklink today. Obviously, if there's anything I've missed, because I've covered the stickered parts, I've covered the minifigures, and I've covered the actual set pieces and how to buy them. But if there's anything you can think that I've missed, if you want to leave a comment about that, I can actually just cover that again. Maybe cover stuff in more detail, or talk about other stuff if there's something that you've got a question on. And just, leave a comment to this and just say, can you explain that a bit further? Because I can always do a little bit in the future on this particular subject. So this bag is the sets that I managed to actually pick quite a few bits for, and they are waiting to be completed. I did get the other day in the post this, which has inside that all the bits that I need to complete these. But I will just show you, when I've picked the bits out for the sets, what I would normally do is all these bits that I find, I would stick into a tub. Once I've got all the bits that I find, I would put them in a labelled bag. So this one is 4645. I know this is a harbour set, so that particular set is going to be finished soon, as is stuff like this, which is Brickheads, that's Mandalorian and the Child. So this is how I would store them whilst I was waiting for the bits. I would, to be fair, also sell them in similar bags like this, because they're very handy. I do also, it's not just this loose sets without boxes and most without manuals. I do have a pile of other stuff. So this is box sets. Apart from that, I don't know what that's doing there. But this is boxed sets as well. So you've got Minecraft, you've got Marvel. There's all sorts of little bits and pieces there, really. And those are ones also that will be completed. I didn't manage to get every single part, because like I said, there's the shipping here that I told you about, and that is expensive to complete. So what I will possibly do with that is just sell it as is. I will make sure I put in the listing what is missing. But there are a lot of sets in here where I can finish them, and they will go on eBay. And any minifigure bits, that's my work tray there. But any minifigure bits, like I've got these, I will then obviously run the torsos. I will run the torsos through Google Lens. I will just pick those out, put those with the legs and any other bits, and I will see if I can complete minifigures, and those will go on Bricklink, as will the excess sticker parts, which are still over here. So I will put any of that sort of stuff on. But all this other stuff, once I've finished, once I've put all the ordered bits in here, the stuff that I ordered to finish these, or finish them as much as I can. Some of these sets don't even have minifigures. I think there's some which aren't going to have minifigures actually, because the minifigures can be quite expensive. But all this stuff will get put away, and this is not because, I mean, at one point I did run a Bricklink store and I was selling all these little individual parts, and it took hours, it took days, weeks to be fair, to put a lot of this stuff on. So I no longer do that, and I would just go for the stuff where it's going to be slightly quicker to list it and stuff like that on Bricklink. But it would be a job, I would say, for more than one person to definitely make a go of a Bricklink store, because you also have picking of orders, which can be time consuming too. But yeah, anyway, so that is how I would sort, how I would look them up on Bricklink, and then how I would just put the bits in and get those listed, and then what I would do with any bits that are left over, really. So that is it for this video. And again, another how-to. Hope you enjoyed it. Like I say, any questions, anything else you want to know about any particular aspect of this, anything you want me to explain further, is just let me know in the comments, and in a future video I can always explain in more depth. Right, anyway, so I'm just going to finish these. Anything to say, Jennifer?
I hate Lego, but I love wrestling.
All right, anyway. So on that note, on that bombshell, thank you for watching. That's my thumb there somewhere. So thank you for watching. And we'll see you on the next video.
Bye.
You'll make this rather snappy, won't you? I have some very heavy thinking to do before 10 o'clock.